Alright then, so we've got something a little unique here today. Specifically, we've got two things, actually. But we'll worry about what we got in front of us right now, and then I'll get to the other one later. Right now, we've got Wandering Sword. Basically, this is an RPG where you are a wandering martial artist who can pick up a wide variety of abilities in order to, well, handle whatever comes to you, really. I'm going to be simplifying things a bit here because we're focusing very specifically on the DLC that recently came out, because that is what was shown in the special request that I was given, because both of these games were given to me by Lurkit. They are both keys I was granted, so bear that in mind. Everything I say is still going to be coming straight from my own head. I'm not reading any scripts or anything. This is just, you're alerted now that these were keys that were given to me. I had my eye on this game for a bit anyway, so I was quite happy to have received these keys, and mildly surprised by one thing that happened when I was given these. Specifically, I didn't realize this was specifically for a DLC at the time, and they had given keys for both the game and the DLC, which was quite generous of them. But I will be covering base game mechanics and such when we hop in and get ready to start the DLC. The reason why I'm specifically focusing on the DLC here is they gave a save alongside the special instructions that takes you straight to the DLC content, so my best logic here is that they intend for you to focus on the DLC as much as possible, since it is a whole separate storyline. Now, with that noted, the save layout's a little odd, but I'm gonna go ahead and explain what happened here, because I only just figured this out when I was looking at it. Since save 0 is always your latest manual save, no matter where it's been put, is basically, these two saves are the same, but there will always be a slot 0 that is your latest save. So, since they gave me the option of whatever difficulty I wanted, basically, as a save file, and I had chosen file 1, which was normal, it gets pushed down to save slot 2, because it's all offset by 1, because save 0 exists. Is they had given a 0, 1, 2, 3, I think it was. Is there's easy, normal, hard, and then insane, I think was the label for the hardest one. And I, of course, went with normal because this 2 hours you see here in the autosave, that's all my experience with the game. But I did that so that I had some background on this, so I understood what I was doing rather than blindly jumping into the DLC of a game I've never played. That just makes more sense to me. But if I hop into the save, a funny thing here is, as far as I can tell, this is early content that's listed in our quests over here. Just don't worry about that. Ignore that. That's not there. So you have polearm, saber, sword, fists, and hidden weapons are your 5 classes of weapon, essentially. And then you have normal moves, special moves, mighty moves, unique moves, lightness, skills, and cultivation methods. You'll notice we start with a lot of cultivation methods in this save. Ordinarily, you'll have just basic cultivation. Just bear that in mind. Now, you can either learn moves from characters, or, as far as I've been able to tell, you also learn them via manuals like this one. Which, the save, as you can see, also provides you with a lot of stuff. Is presumably, if I were a betting man, I would bet that the DLC is designed to be a post-game content bit. So they provided you basically with everything you would need to survive something at that level. Now, it looks like they focused on polearms with the save, because you'll notice, if we look at the weapons, We have a couple really cool swords, but they do way less damage. They have way less attack than this pole arm does. Ditto with the sabers and everything. In fact, if we sword it, there you go. Oh yeah, and there's the hidden weapon there, which is also around the same level. Like, there's just a massive gulf between the two, which I find interesting. Let's see, sort by type. Let's see what books we have. We have basic cultivation, which we already have. Lightweight technique. Sure, it doesn't consume the item to read these, so we may as well just read all of them. There's really not a disadvantage to doing so. We've also got some blueprints. Those do get consumed. There are also a bunch of life skills. You'll notice down here, you got forging, cooking, fishing, tailoring, alchemy, and collecting. Collecting is exactly what you'd expect it to be, picking up stuff around the world, like cutting plants, grabbing this, that, the other thing. And alchemy is the only one I'm not certain about it. I would presume it would be for making potions. Well, you don't really spend points on these. These are just you do them and get better at them. What's up, Pazzy? As you can see, you also have a bunch of pre-existing relationships. These would be the baseline, I would presume, from having gone through the game up to the point where this file is. It's an interesting thing to note, by the way, that there's a funny thing about the stats here. And that is... Where is it? This 1-year anniversary gift pack here provides an item that gave me similar stats to what we have here when I was doing my test at the beginning of the game. So I highly recommend that if you play this, maybe save the 1-year anniversary gift pack for a while so you don't just break everything. Let's see, we can get permanent increased crit rate from that, so we may as well just munch that down. Permanently increased defense, sure. Monsters won't engage for 5 minutes, that's fine. 50 median points. I'll use that to help explain things, so sure. Ooh, you can use 3 of these max HP increasers at all. Interesting. Go ahead and just chuck that down the gullet. I'm not going to worry about changing gear, because clearly all of this is as good as it's going to get. So, in order to grow your characters, other than these life skills, you either spend martial arts points, which we have a lot because we technically don't have anything, because they gave you a file with a lot of room to grow, but not set any of it in stone, which is nice. And by using these martial arts points, you make individual techniques better. Like, they all max out, I think, at level 10 each. So every move you have can grow 10 times. And you'll notice they unlock special attributes depending on certain level thresholds as well, which is nice. And then over here, you have the Meridian map. These are basically all of your passive stat increases, which you use these Meridian points to unlock. And occasionally there'll be these extra benefits along the way. And as far as I can tell, it doesn't care about how you decide to grow these. Like, you can just hop around to whichever spots you want. Like, you have to follow these lines once you're within a specific section, but it doesn't limit you from picking multiple sections and just leveling whatever benefits you at the time. And you can see what all of the total benefits are over here on the side. If I just wanted a bunch of health, I can just do this. There we go, I just have a ton more health now. Ordinarily, you'd be having to get these Meridian points through increasing your cultivation skills and doing all of this, that, and the other thing, but since we have this file, I can just directly explain all of this to y'all straight up, because we don't have to work through it. Yeah, it's all very on theme for what this is. Now, I don't have sufficient background in any of this information to know how accurate it is, but in anything I've encountered that uses this martial arts type theming and everything backgrounded in this area, it matches up with what I've seen in those. So I would assume there's at least a similar starting point. How accurate it is to how any of it actually is believed to be, I have no idea. I have to say that right now because I have zero background in any of this information. So don't come to me for authenticity. I got nothing for you on that. But it's all very well made. We'll go ahead and just grab ourselves some stats over here. I do want our attack to be decent, which there is... Oh no, it's the other tree that I want to grab the other thing. We'll go ahead and get some power back on critical. It's... Penetrating one? Yeah, this is the one that gives agility. Specifically, I want this one. Has a 15% chance to take action again after attacking. Because a 15% chance to get another turn after you attack just sounds incredible. So why wouldn't I want that? And of course, 15% chance to take action again after a lightness skill will also be good. Lightness skill, as far as I can tell, is more of a mobility ability. Like, you can do extra movement using it. Increase move by 2 after composing. Composing being just your end turn button, so we'll go ahead and snag that. Ooh, you can slow enemies down with this, sure. I'm going to be focusing a lot of points in here because going faster is very helpful. Ooh, internal damage stops them from doing cultivation. Okay, that's good. That's very good. Cultivation moves, as you will see looking over here, do a lot, including some of which being attacks in and of themselves. Like, usually these are for buffing yourself or for cleansing or things like that, as far as I've been able to tell. But you have a handful that are like this Highland Warfare Doctrine here that will attack your enemies at the same time. Or at the very least, yeah, because it has an attack stat and it shows a attack area. Now, unfortunately, we really don't have, like, any polearm moves. Despite us starting with this polearm. Our companion here, what can I learn from you? Is with, depending on how much affinity you have with a character, affinity being just spending time with them, giving them gifts, just being friends with these characters, unlocks the ability to learn moves from them. Which is pretty neat. Like, I love it when a game gives you more reason to actually interact with your companions than just, oh, hey, you unlock, like, relationship events with them or things. Like, no, 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 no. These people are individuals with their own skill sets and everything. Let me learn from them. Let me gain what I can from these relationships. Oh yeah, there's also an array of mounts you can get, some of which are from another different DLC, which I do not have, but you can get like a horse. The seals, I think, are from this DLC, the Secrets of the Eastern Seas. And then you can get a pig and a goat. And you'll notice they all have independent move speeds and everything, which do matter. So all of that's important. And you'll note the deployed or not deployed indicator on these characters. That determines who's actually going to be out in a fight with you whenever you get into combat. Which we'll explain combat when we get there. But as you can see, there's also a rather significant world map. So, playing the main game, you're going to have a lot of ground to cover. We'll be getting direction as to what the DLC wants us to do here in a moment, because the save parks us right out in front of where that's supposed to trigger. So you don't need to worry about that right now. But since we do only have our basic polearm move, I'm going to go ahead and just max that out with the martial points we have. Because I don't know how strong the things we'll be dealing with are in the DLC, so I'm being careful and making sure we're not going to just walk in and get our head caved in. Oh yeah, and the other advantage to increasing your cultivation methods, by the way, you'll notice that green text there. In addition to those meridian points, it improves your max hit points and MP, every time you level one of these as well. So make sure to improve your cultivation methods. They are the foundation of everything you have. Like, they are vitally important. You don't have these, you're probably gonna have a bad day. But as you can see, they are consequently very expensive, or at least for the really strong ones. Now, I don't know if increasing one that's not equipped improves anything. But I see no reason to have the basic one equipped when I can have this one equipped. Like, this just seems like a better version of it. Actually, no. This is 15% on cooldown 1. This is 25% on cooldown 3. So the passive benefits of this one are better, but arguably this might actually be better overall, but it's fine. We'll just take it for the passive benefits, and we will just go ahead and max that out. We do only... Oh no, we do have Thunderbolt sword play as well, so if I wanted to switch to a sword, we do at least have a decent sword move. And we do have the saber move we picked up there, and we... Oh no, we do have a few moves. We just only have the 2 polearm moves then. Okay, that's fine. I have to sit here and figure out our situation here, so just bear with me for a few minutes. And you'll notice as I increased all of our Meridian stuff, our stats have massively increased, especially our agility. Now, I will admit, I'm not 100% sure if agility or internal power is how your turn order is determined, because it has a fairly standard active battle system meter where a yellow bar fills and then you take your turn, and everything on the map is taking those turns. So it's one of the two. Now, logic would denote it's the key generation. Yeah, see, take action every 1.08 seconds. So we actually want more internal power rather than agility. Agility just allows us to move fast as to cross the field. Because this is grid-based combat whenever you get into a fight. So you have to be able to move around the battlefield or you are going to have a rough go of it. So actually, I probably do want to do things that'll get me more internal power as well, but we'll just raise our attack. But we'll do what I do best and just hit really hard. So there we go. That one's maxed out now as well. Yeah, this allows us to move more and evade more, which that's not a bad idea. Ignore zone of control? Yep, give. I want that. Who wouldn't want to ignore enemy zone of control when you're moving around? This way you can just, like, duck through and get their back rank. Yes. Because another important thing to note is side and back attacks are devastating in this game. Positioning really does matter. With this, though, not going to be as big a problem for us. We can just take advantage of their poor positioning instead. And there we go. Now we're out of Meridian points. Now I can stop just abusing what they've given us. Until I buy some of these, then suddenly we have more points. But I'm gonna stop spending for the moment. And let's just move along. I'm not gonna be reading all the dialogue because I've been dealing with some rough business with my sinuses the past, like, day and change almost now. And as such, there's been enough drip that my throat is also a little cross. Not badly right now, but if I sit here and voice everything, it will get mad. So let's just not push our luck. No, you're probably not who I need. They said to go to the middle of the city. I assumed, based on the way they said just go forward a bit, that I just needed to walk up the path, but perhaps... Because they said that the plot would trigger in the middle of the city. And I had assumed that the middle was right in front of me, but apparently is not. So let's find the middle of the city. Oh wait, there we go. Somebody's selling an Eastern Sea Pearl. That's presumably where I need to be headed off to. What the listing had called the city and what they just called the city is two different things. Where is that city? Oh, it's over there. Okay. So is it this? Yes, it's this. Now we need to go find that person that's selling that pearl. Oh, never mind. I think we found them. Yeah, you know, you do seem to be set up right in the middle of the street. That seems inconvenient for everyone involved. "5 days and hasn't sold it, huh? Interesting." Well, somebody literally told us on our way here that it was a pearl. So I feel like, you know, maybe this strange round object underneath this cloak might be a pearl. Aha, we know their name now. Well, yeah, she waited for the divination to be good. Anybody could figure that one out. Ah, yes, clearly you're the destined one. Yes, yes, you. You're totally the only one who arrived just now at all, yes. Ta-da! And that is big for a pearl. That is like crystal ball sized. Also, what's stopping somebody just stealing this? I have to assume she's dangerous in her own right, or she's a fool. One of the two. Aha! We have to master all the techniques. And that'll be the one that's worthy. That's probably part of why we have so many points available, is so that we can spend them mastering these techniques. Question is there going to be any copies left? Nope. Oh no, there's a copy sitting right there. Oh, interesting. She lost her abilities. Yeah, that does seem odd, doesn't it? Because you're both teaching them a technique and giving them a priceless item. Seems a little suspicious. Oh yeah, get used to everybody having extended titles, by the way. It's a thing. Yeah, it's interesting how everything said there was no copies left, and yet there was one mysteriously somehow still around. It's almost like we were meant to get this copy. Alright, we can learn to use a fan. Okay, it counts as a fist weapon. Okay. Makes sense, yeah, you can either put blades in it or just poke just right to do a variety of things. Okay. It's at the very least interesting, that's for sure. Okay, 8/10 proficiency to be determined worthy. Right, we are gonna need to get a fan in order to practice the fan art. That makes sense. So it's a fist weapon technique. There we go. Oh, it comes pre-mastered. Interesting. So do I have to use it, or is it looking for a certain amount of fist weapon mastery? But one way or the other, let's go find that blacksmith. I don't think I have a town map. I'll just have to run around and find a blacksmith somewhere. Pawn shop doesn't seem like where I'd want to be. We would want something special for this. We don't want just any old fan that somebody pawned. Herb shop. Whoop. Just warp through their door, don't mind me. Martial club. That might be a good place for us to go to learn some other techniques, actually. We'll find that blacksmith first. Now, gee, I wonder if the place surrounded by casino bouncers could be a casino. Maybe, possibly. Ah, blacksmith. He was a few feet to the right. I just happened to go the wrong way. I was actually coming to ask about blacksmithing. So it looks like it's triggering the life skill tutorial, which is funny. Which it seems like this works more or less the way in most games handle this. Bring the resources to a place where you can make the thing. You have a chance at making a better version of it. Or, you know, better or more better in this case, rather than better or worse. Is common being the worst option and everything above that being positive. And you'll just level by virtue of the more of them you make. Okay, so you do have to pay for using the area as well, which makes sense. Okay. Oh wow, and he just gave us a set of blueprints as well. What a guy. You know, that's a fast way to run yourself out of business, teaching everyone you meet how to make the same things you make. There we go. And yeah, of course, everybody's been asking him for an iron fan. Now the thing is, though, why... We don't necessarily need an iron fan, I presume. Ah, of course, of course. At least he's willing to sell me the blueprint. And we have money, so we can just buy the blueprint just fine. We may as well grab this while we're at it. So I presume we're gonna have to level enough to be able to make that. But that's fine, we can figure that out just fine. I probably need to, yeah. Eat that, eat that. Yeah, we have no ingots or anything, so we're gonna have to figure that out. Oh wow, this is actually, like, stupid simple to make. Never mind. I guess that makes sense, actually, because they wouldn't want to have the requirements be high, because otherwise there'd be more bars of entry to getting into the DLC, and this fan is required for entry. Happen to sell the ingots? You do not. Everything you were selling was already shown here. Okay. Do me a favor, game, and just batch sell all of that common crap. There we go. We're not gonna need any of that anyway. This is when one of those common weapons was like way stronger than what I'm using, and I just cry. but it's fine. Do you happen to sell... Everybody bought out the paper fans. Ah. Oh, wow, she... Huh, she replaced all of the... Interesting. Yeah, I see no reason to use this paper fan rather than making an iron fan. We just gotta get a little bit of iron. I was hoping she'd be selling iron. You just have a chat option, so you're not selling me things. I mean, you would think iron wouldn't be that hard to get, but at the same time, with the type of world this appears to be, iron may actually be harder to come by than you may think. Why is... Oh, right, because I didn't click on all of those after I read all the books we had, right. It's funny, we have some silver ore that I could turn into silver bars, but we don't have any iron. What a world, eh? What a world. Also have a blueprint for a staff, so sure, we'll just go ahead and eat that too. Anywhere that immediately screams to me I could get iron there. I mean, there's a mountain over here. So I guess let's go to the mountain and see if we can get iron, and if we can't get iron quickly, we will just go with a paper fan. And this will also give you guys a chance to see how some of the gameplay works before we dive into DLC content anyway. Assuming I have to go through this village to get to the other side. Actually, do you sell iron? No, you sell weapons and weapons only. Woodsman. Position. Oh, I have wandered into a thing. Nope. I heard nothing. I saw nothing. I was never here. That is unrelated content to what I'm trying to do here. Coal. Okay. So this looks to be a bandit camp rather than a place where I can mine. Oh, apparently somewhere along the way we had cleared this out in normal gameplay. Interesting. That's a quest item, apparently. Okay. I tell you what, let's beat these guys up and you'll understand how this works. So, based on how quickly you generate your meter there, your tornado is determined. Now, in an interesting turn of events, there is a real-time mode as well, if you want to just speed through things. But we just walk over, use a regular attack, and that guy just gets obliterated. And since we are crazy fast because of everything we did, we can just wipe them out. Not really an issue. The music does seem to be a little on the loud side in combat, though, so let's go ahead and pull that back again. The combat music was not as aggressive earlier on, so I didn't even think too much of it. I was really hoping to find some iron quickly here, and it's really not looking like that's working according to plan. Thankfully on this horse, these bandits really cannot catch me very easily. So we can just kind of scoot through and see about grabbing whatever we can grab. Oh, I literally just need a little bit of iron. Maybe they'll drop some iron. Oh, hey, our companion actually got a turn this time. Look at that. Oh, and you can do the same thing I showed you all for the main character with everybody in your party. You have full control over all their stuff. You cannot take their items and hand them around, it seems. Or at least I wasn't immediately able to when I was testing things out. So it may be you have to get to a certain amount of affinity with them, and it may also be that that's just not something you can do. Like, you can only manage party items, not character items. And nope. You know what? I'm a fool. I'm a fool, and you'll understand exactly why I'm saying that once we get out of here. I did find a second piece of iron ore. Don't need to waste my time here. There was a very simple option right in front of our eyes when we were at that blacksmith that I should have used, which would have solved all of our problems. And I'll explain once we get back there. But at the very least, I did grab a little bit of iron ore in case my theory here fails. This does mean I'm going to slightly regret having sold all the regular stuff. There's a disassemble option right here. It's almost like I could just use this to disassemble what I would need to. Steel. There we go. Lots of iron ingots. There we go. Just disassemble all that stuff for me, buddy. Thank you. And there we go. Now we have a fan. Woods near the city should provide sufficient area. Oh, speaking of training and practicing, note the spar option with your companion characters. As long as you have 20 affinity with a character, you can spar with them. Like, you could just get into a fight with anybody, as long as they like you enough to be willing to spar with you. It's a great way to generate martial points to do stuff with. Alright, so the woods right outside of town are where I'm supposed to go train. Do they mean here? No. Is there actually like a wooded section on this map somewhere? A lot of this would probably make a lot more sense if I had had the context of having finished the game up till this point to work with, but we'll figure it out. It'll be fine. And I know I'm rushing through explanations of things and all of that, but hopefully it's all making sense. Okay, let me actually equip the fan. My gray quality weapon to replace my red quality weapon. Let's go ahead and make our punching moves really good just in case we do actually have to use those. So I don't know if I'm actually like going and getting into fights to practice this, or if this is just going to be like a cutscene practice sequence. Oh, it probably is like Mirkwood up there that they want me to go to. The actual location. Because these are woods right outside. Yep, there we go. Look at me swinging my fan. 2 hours of swinging a fan later. Yeah, that makes sense. Ah, but could you consider that the idea of mastery may in fact be figuring out the weaknesses and working with them? That may be exactly what they're looking for. Ooh, fate reversing fan technique. Oh, interesting. They actually give you a choice here. Let's do this turn-based. Okay, so we have an enemy with a fan here. And we suddenly have a lot of techniques. I don't think we had this before. We definitely didn't have Gathering Storm before, and obviously the fate reversing fan technique we just witnessed our character learning. And as you can see, because of all the agility I have, I can just zoom over there. They have 4,000 and 235 health. So yeah, I'm glad I spent some time making myself stronger, because if we just went into this flat, I'm pretty sure an opponent like this would flatten us. But let's go for it. Let's see, 1 to 2 stacks of Grievous Wound, which I don't know what Grievous Wound does, but since it's level 5, we can also do extra damage equal to 3 times Strength. Our Strength's not that high, it's decently high. Stagnant. Lightweight. Okay. Well, let's give him some Grievous Wounds. That seems like a good idea. Oh, that did, like, no damage. We avoided their attack, so that works out for us. Wow, we are doing very little damage here. There we go. That worked out better. We are fast enough that we're getting multiple turns, though, so that's working to our advantage. We use our special. There we go. And just keep hammering at their back while they're unable to respond to us. I don't know if I'm just getting lucky and getting that 15% proc, or if we are just that much faster. And you'll notice this is a one-on-one fight. We don't actually have our companion with us for this, which is interesting. But I presume the point of this is proving we can do what we need to do with this fan art. So having our companion would kind of make it relevant at that point. There we go. Oh, neat. We got a 5,000 Marshall Point book. Because you'll also get these occasionally, depending on the situations. You'll get manuals of Marshall Points. Now that we have the moves, though, we can actually make them better. So, you know, why not max them all out? See what their full potential is. You know, ignoring what he just said about not rushing mastering martial techniques, we'll just go ahead and click a button a few times. Yeah, that does seem suspicious. I suspect that they're gonna try to take the pearl instead of doing the job to get the pearl. Yeah, considering the club, I don't think they're worried about fan techniques. There sure is a lot of them. I suspect she could probably just handle this, but we're gonna end up playing hero here. Yeah, they really haven't given her a chance to finish a sentence. But considering she's involved in this fight, I'm assuming she can handle herself. So we can just have some fun here. We have this nice circle attack. There we go. And then this. Hey, look, most of them are gone. And yeah, she has the same moves. I kind of figured. So we could just mirror what we did over here. Except she's stronger than us, as it turns out. So that's interesting. But it makes sense, because she's probably been practicing these fan techniques for quite some time. So for all that we made modifications to the techniques, it's interesting that we have the exact same ones. Sup? Oh, friendly fire, by the way, is not really a thing. So you can just feel free to point the area of attacks at friends and it won't hurt anybody. There we go. Oh, hey, we got 2 of the exact same helmet. Interesting. Got some boxing gloves. Neat stuff, neat stuff. You were thinking a lot about how easy it would be to steal a pearl from a single lady. Well, we understand what you were thinking. Ah, the classic, I have to support my family bit. Uh-huh. Yeah, I don't know why anybody would have assumed she would be that naive to come alone with something that valuable. And she's just handing out manuals of martial arts like candy. Had you perhaps considered she's the one who wrote them? Now that part's true. You were fools. That much is very true. I'll give you credit though, at least you didn't just try with just the 3 guys. You did bring 3 extras that were hiding. But you should have brought a lot more than that. Maybe, you know, some archers hiding in the trees or something as well as a safety net. Rather than just a bunch of dudes with clubs. What is she gonna have them do? She's going to extort them? Incredible. Uno will reverse the mugging. I approve. Yeah, don't be so quick to throw your buddies under the bus. Yes, such poor folk with all of those fancy gems you just handed over and like 5,000 coins, which is more than we had on this very high power file that we were given. Yes, you clearly are so poor. I mean, you are now, after you gave us everything. Okay, that's a little overkill, but you know what? It makes the point. You did that just so you could laugh at them. We understand. To be fair, it's less risky for us to come to your aid, because at least that makes 2 people than you to be out here by yourself, but you're not wrong. Though I do wonder where our companion ended up in all of this, because the other fight, not having them made sense. In this fight, not having them, it was a little weird. But again, it's probably so that it showcases the fan arts properly, and you don't have companions muddying the waters, doing all of their techniques and wiping more of them out before you have a chance to properly test that. I don't know if I'd go so far as to say mastered it, but we figured some things out. Yeah, I don't see the reason why the pearl would be more important than the technique to someone like us. Yeah, he hasn't shared his name, that is true. Oh, the divination's coming together now. It used to be people just leaving scenes and coming into scenes, by the way, but just leaping around. That's gonna be a common thing around here. Oh, hey, we got a better fan now. And we now know how to make that. I don't know why we got the blueprint for it when we already have it. But I guess so you could try to make a better one, question mark? Or, like, give more of your companions them or something if you want to, like, make an entire party of people swinging fans around. Which, admittedly, that could be very fun, just based on the area effect that these fan techniques have had so far. It's like, full circle attack, pretty good. Huge area in front of you, pretty nice. And of course, a 9 in square here is pretty handy. Oh, I should probably discuss weapon mastery. Every technique within a weapon that you upgrade improves that weapon's mastery. And the higher that weapon's mastery is, the more damage that weapon will do for you. So don't just, like, flip-flop around from weapon to weapon completely blindly. Like, you'll notice our fist mastery is higher than all of the other ones other than saber now, because I've boosted up all of those fist techniques. And I suppose I may as well just read this book just to have read it. We don't really have, I mean, I guess I have these lightness skills to master too, so there you go, just master those. That'll get our stamina up. There we go, now these are mastered as well. I didn't go all the way to mastering these because I didn't want to make things too easy for myself by having too much health. But having a bit more stamina is probably not a bad idea. Oh, and you can play this game purely with just the mouse, by the way. You can even move on the map with just the mouse. So if that's something you want to do, you can. The controller support is actually pretty good for it, too. The only thing is, in my opinion, navigating these menus up here was a little bit with the controller, because you have to use the triggers to cycle from menu to menu up there, or use a bunch of hotkey buttons. It felt a little off to me. And then in combat, you had a bunch of combined buttons to use your various techniques, which work well for... I did not intend to do this, but I guess we're doing this now because I bumped into her while I was yammering. And here's our tutorial on making armor. And there we go, we can now make basic armor as well. What was I saying? Oh yeah. I suspect that the combined buttons in combat would actually be very good for real-time mode, because you can just more freely move around and use your techniques rather than having to go back and forth with the mouse, like I have been with the fact that I'm using the mouse primarily. But it's nice to know that there are options there. And there's also things like you can turn on and off enemies using cultivation methods, which it's off by default, so I didn't touch that. But if you want to make the game more difficult, you probably can turn that on and they'll probably be stronger because of that. And there's not that many graphics settings, but this game doesn't really need them. I do appreciate this. I want to point this out, is this might be the most separated audio tracks I've seen in a game in a while. And as a streamer especially, I have to appreciate the fact that they give you this much audio control. Just want to point that out. And of course, you've got language settings. This is neat. I do like the text speed slider. I don't think I've ever seen a slider for text speed before. I didn't even realize that was there because I didn't even look at the language settings till now. So that's fun. Okay, so back to the inn. Did we ever actually... Yeah, it was right here, because the waiter's outside. And we got a yet further better fan. So what was the point to the fan she just gave us? That seems oddly accelerated. Oh, the pearl's actually an accessory. Okay, I was expecting this to just be like a... You can sell this for tons of money or a like quest item. But no, it's actually an accessory item. Which your accessories, as you see there, primarily seem to be about boosting your key gathering rate. And of course, stat boosts and such. We can also become immune to Dazzle and Dread with that, so that'll be useful. Maybe we'll equip that. Well, they may or may not be getting drunk right now. Well, at least one of us is. I was wondering if they were going to give me a choice here to answer what kind of technique we thought it was. It looks like this is immediately being filled in. Yeah, that is a good point. He did find those weaknesses, like, instantly. But, you know, some may assume that that's partially a plot acceleration. So, to give a little bit of insight for our character here, we picked up other techniques very, very quickly in the intro of the game as well, so you can also assume our character to be some manner of genius with regard to martial techniques, probably partially because, you know, it would fit into the power fantasy angle of stories, and it also is convenient for the mechanism by which we can increase our abilities for our character to be just very quick to pick things up. Because otherwise you'd have a lot of questions of how they crack open a manual on a technique and go, I know how to do this now. I mean, that was listed on the skill. Yeah. Ah, and that's how it connects to the Eastern Seas. Okay. And I assume this is going to be our hook to go to the Eastern Seas, then. Okay. So there's a connection, but not directly. Yep, there it is. Help her find the legacy. Why do I almost feel like there's like a hidden... You couldn't be a more perfect sucker. Like, in the quiet part written past where the word perfect here is. Maybe that's just me immediately assuming somebody's going to screw us over, but I just get that immediate impression when somebody says something quite along that line of thought. Okay, we gotta take a boat from Immortal Crossing. Okay. So we need to get a crew, that makes sense. Is presumably there's not gonna just be vessels available to hire over there. Apparently she can talk to her little monkey friend. So that's interesting. And it sounds like we might have quite the trip in front of us. Ah, okay, so there's a bonus thing we can do where we, like, investigate the name. Oh, hang on, I forgot to change that message. God damn it. I knew I forgot something. I know, let me just ban myself. That'll solve the problem. No, it won't. Not in the slightest. Hang on. Gotta fix that one. Because I hadn't intended to turn that one on yet, and I forgot I turned it back on after turning it off. Let me quickly fix that. Totally a professional, everybody. I don't ever make mistakes. No, not at all. Ignore that one and just look at this one. That's the correct one. Ignore the one above it. I'm pretty sure that link's also out of date, so you know. That's wonderful. And before anybody goes, oh, that's a spoiler about what he's playing next. No, that was the last thing I did. I knew I had forgotten something. There's always something. Oh, you know what? I'll just do this the easy way. Except, get how to... You know what? We'll just leave it there. It'll be fine. I'll just let that stand as a monument to my inattention today. Let's just head straight on over to Immortal Crossing, which is... Okay, we're gonna have to go a little bit north to go east to get there, because there's only a bridge to the north or a bridge to the south. And it looks like it'll be a shorter path to get to the northern bridge. Well, it'll be a longer trip to the bridge, but a shorter path to the town. The southern bridge is closer, but it's a longer path afterwards, and it goes through a lot more nonsense, it looks like. And obviously, if we had a faster mount, we'd get there even quicker, but we're already, like, halfway there. In fact, nope, we're more than halfway there. The world map looks big, but it looks like you can travel pretty quickly across. Yeah, I'm sure somebody's seen a lady running around asking for boats. You, constable, tell me things. Yeah, that makes sense. Though I wonder if they're actually having problems with pirates, or if that's just a thing they must be on alert for. You, captain, you might know if somebody's been asking for boats. Of course. Maybe there's somebody else who doesn't have custard on the brain. No, of course. So where do I get custard? No, not Spirit Merchant. Okay. They're having trouble because of a variety of issues, not just because these people are incompetent. Ah, so we can go get satin for this as well. I don't know if I care that much about the satin, but we may as well mark it off. Also, can I... God damn it. Right-click closes these menus, and it keeps messing with me. How... I apparently can't, like, choose which ones I have marked and not marked. So that's mildly inconvenient. is convinced that this quest here is urgent, so it's overriding the other things. Health merchant, no. I know he said where it was, but I was expecting to be able to just leave and go find somebody else to talk to. Which, that's on me. You just go look at it, I guess. Nope, it just says they want a golden crab shell custard. So somebody has to know about it. You sell custard? No, you sell a lot of fish, as expected. I should probably also equip that better fan. There we go. And what does this have for me? This is better. This is better than the gem. Aside from the protection from Dazzle and Dread. So we'll just keep what we have. An argument could be made for swapping just for sake of... You, foreign merchant, do you have what I'm looking for? No, you have a lot of things, but nothing I care about. This is literally all just money items. How about you? Nope. Yeah, I didn't think a spice merchant would have what I'm looking for. But you just have gems. Okay. Maybe if I talk to them again... Ah, Linhai Inn. Right. I knew they had mentioned the location, just I had completely passed over it at the time. So I presume Linhai's a location nearby. Or possibly not actually nearby. So, I'm gonna retract that thought and assume that there's an inn here called Linhai Inn. Yep, this is Linhai Inn. Okay. Oh, we can learn the recipe for that custard as well. We'll just grab the one serving to fulfill the quest as well. I don't know why I'm picking up these recipes. It's just mostly a reflex. Like, oh, there's a recipe. Give. I can afford, therefore give. I like learning crafting things. Uh-huh. Is custard served hot? Like, I genuinely don't really know much about custards of any kind. Though I guess since it's crab, you wouldn't want it to be cold. Well, good news. I'm the someone she's waiting for, so it all worked out. Ding, 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 ding! Congratulations, you figured it out. Oh, she has just straight up run off. God damn it. Now we gotta go figure out where she's disappeared to. Now there's the monkey, who is panicking, so bad things have happened. Now, I will say, I'm not going to play the entire story sequence for the DLC, because from what I saw in the reviews, apparently the DLC isn't that long. So I don't want to spoil it all for you, but obviously I want to at least get out to the islands and do a few things before we move on. This way you all get a decent sampling of everything on offer here. Oh, there's a whole path down here that we never would have found. She really is just doing a great job of getting herself in trouble, huh? Oh yeah, that is definitely trouble. Why is there a baboon with a sword? Hi. Speaking of complicating things... Just labeled sword-carrying monkey. You know what? I appreciate that. And let's see, we've just got a bunch of masked guys who will have about 3,000 HP each. It's a real shame for you guys that you only have 3,000 health. Monkey gonna shank him. Ooh, actually, no, the unique technique's on cooldown still anyway. I could have taken another step back and walloped all of them together, was what I was just realizing. Though they all seem to be having a bad day, so I've done something good. One down. They are actually reasonably strong. They are hurting me. But thanks to all the agility we have, they just can't hit me. Perfect usage of the dodge tank principle. There we go. Hit you with that. Hit you with this. And now there's one who's about to be shanked by an angry monkey. There we go. That didn't take long, did it? Turned into leaves. Shenanigans. They did a great job of hitting me with an illusion and making it feel like I got punched. One wonders about your connection with the sword-wielding monkey there, to be fair. Ah, okay. Yeah, that seems a fitting place to retire to. I'll take that box in the background there as a reward. That seems good enough for me. Just everything that's in that, it's mine now? Yeah. Oh, neat. We learned a new cultivation method, too. You know what? I'll also take that as a good reward. Oh, the chest just had ingots in it. Basically, it's a box full of work for me to do. Wonderful. It's interesting how our horse just kind of slips through here without much problem. Probably shouldn't worry too much about that. I'd eat this book. Let's see. It does restore HP as well, so really, we get rid of the Wudang cultivation method and take this one. Seems like the perfect choice. This way, if we need to restore our MP, we can also just boost up our health a bit with it as well at the same time. And it's the same in buff, so it... I mean, we do lose the bonus to specific sect moves, but we also get a bonus to fan moves here. And we're using our fan moves right now, so this makes the most sense to use. I suppose I should put it... Oh, that mastery happens rather quickly, but it is incomplete, so that makes sense. If we don't run into any trouble, I'm not going to worry about spending any more points, so we don't take up more of our time. Oh wait, I'm supposed to be going to the boat. I don't know why my first instinct was just ride out of town, off into the sunset. What I'm learning is Captain Bai here is just incredibly easy to sway with crab dishes. If he's ever upset about anything, just hand him a bowl full of crab and he will be fine. Yeah, I already bribed him with Crab to tell me where you were. I assume we're gonna have to fight pirates on our way, because they wouldn't be mentioning pirates so much if we didn't have to fight some. Oh wow, already very high affinity. Which makes sense, we've been through quite a bit together before we've even spent more than an hour of game time together. And her stats are, pretty good. Pretty good. Independent makes sense. Still a little confused about her connection with the random monkey she's towing around. She also has a fancy hat blueprint that she's not going to give me. If we consult her, we can learn one cultivation method, and we already know all of her other stuff. But we may as well learn this. I mean, there's no reason not to. Ding! That's all it takes, by the way, is you just need enough points and stamina and affinity, and boom, you just learn the thing. Bam. You now know how to do that. They can also upgrade your life skills, as you can see here, as long as their life skills are better than yours. And again, you have enough stamina and everything to do so. So now we have this as well. Increased damage, evolve the right type of moves. This does give us a chance to test, though, whether these rays are HP and such when it's not equipped for y'all. So 4, 5, 10. Nope, it has to be equipped for it to matter. You do get the Meridian points, though. You just don't get the max HP and max MP unless it's equipped. So there's more information for y'all for if you end up picking this game up for yourselves. Which you can do by clicking that link there. Not the Astro Colony one, ignore that one. Pirates in the Eastern Sea are rampant. The quest will be challenging. We got this. It'll be fine. And if it's not fine, it'll be funny to watch me get my butt kicked and get thrown off the boat. Ah, okay. So it's a riddle as well. Which is why she's looking for somebody with exceptional intuition in that field, to see if there's someone who can interpret it differently. That makes sense. And I take it our friend here has not sailed on the seas much, so he's having a bit of a hard time. I wonder if that's going to manifest as an actual debuff in combat, or if that's just going to be one of those hand-waved things. We need to go to Immortal's Village, so we just sail straight to the right. It's neat that we actually get to steer the boat, though. You can actually, like, freely travel around with the boat. And of course, there would be old people on this island, since it's an island where people retire to. You definitely look younger with your sprite than you do with your portrait. Yours is about the same. Oh, there's a special ceremony happening, huh? Okay, so actual grandmother, not just grandma because old. Okay. I wasn't sure yet, because the way those interactions were happening still had a very wide berth of either or to it. Behold, as I strike a pose while I speak to you. Nope, too late. Moment's over. It's all awkward now. Yeah, you know. Let old people be old people. That's actually a really nice water effect. There could be implications there, could also just be like it's one of those things you can only see at night or something. Okay, so the island's named for him. Okay. Oh, so he was one of the first ones here then? Other than obviously the natives? Okay. So I guess the secret is getting past the falls then, perhaps? One's on a mountain, one's on an island. Okay. Well, it's great that you already have a rapport with two separate monkeys who may be able to help us with the residents. Unless these two are with you because they got thrown out. That could be a problem. Oh, okay, so there's actually just a whole thing with monkeys on this island in general. Okay. Okay. Yeah, we saw a turtle island on the map. Makes sense, yeah. I could definitely understand people worshipping sea turtles because they live so damn long. So they would seem almost magical just by virtue of that. Well, yeah, she said she tried to unlock the legacy before when we were on the boat. Did you pay attention during that conversation, or were you... Well, you might have been too busy nearly hurling over the side of the boat. Honestly, that's understandable. Yeah, and it would make more sense for us to try to do the final step when we have the context of all of the steps, rather than skipping ahead anyway. Because we've seen what happens when I try to skip ahead of things before. It usually ends in failure. You were looking right at us, but you were also too busy bickering with the other old man. Why do I have this feeling that she's one of those ones that barely any strength might still crack somebody's skull? Well done on being diplomatic. Well done. Yeah, it wasn't exactly gonna be hard to see through that one, considering the stumbling at the start. That brings you up to speed, more or less, yeah. That is a good point. If she tells us anything, it may make everything either easier or harder depending on how useful the information ends up actually being. And why spoil the riddle by giving us hints? I assume she's important to the spirit ceremony as well. Are they in trouble with something? Interesting. I suspect that's gonna have consequences on this adventure too, somehow. I mean, she's not facing it alone. She has her resident sucker companion with her here. Mr. must get involved in everything he sees. Oh, apparently I have... There we go. I didn't realize this gained more levels available to it. I should have assumed it would as we went, because it started at level 1 but was technically maxed at 1 before. So there we go. Now that's as good as it's ever going to be. Because I presume it can't get better than 10. Because nothing else has ever been able to get better than 10. We can now make our own peacock feather fans. Though, this is already class 4 premium. I don't know if there'd be any reason to try to make a better one. And it looks like Turtle Island's our first target. So, here's what I'm going to do. We're going to go do whatever happens at Turtle Island, and then I'm going to leave it there so that anybody that wants to play this for themselves still has plenty of mystery to get through. I think that's reasonable. And I'm betting, time-wise, it'll probably put us close to the 2-hour mark and give you guys 2 hours of this game to give yourselves whatever impression you may need to figure out if you want to pick it up. I think that works well. Up. We are having a moment on the boat. Specifically, I spy pirates. Or presumably pirates, because who else would be out here in the middle of nowhere? Yep, definitely look like pirates. Oh, but here we go again, getting involved in somebody else's situation here. Yeah, I'm gonna show real-time battle here. And I'm just gonna stand here and let my companions do all the work for a moment. Because as you can see, it goes on its own. We can obviously move around freely and attack, even if there's nothing to attack in a location. And you'll notice you still do have the limitation of move and then attack, but you can safely exit out of moving, out of attacking rather, and move again if you need to. This is why I don't use the real-time function too much, because I do find it a little finicky. But obviously once you get used to it, it will be much faster. And you are warned in the early parts of the game, when it teaches you about real-time battle, that you should only use it when you expect yourself to be stronger than your opponents. Because otherwise you could very easily be overwhelmed. And we saved somebody carrying a banner. Hooray. A treasure map. Oh no, it's a treasure map leading to the same legacy we're looking for, isn't it? Isn't it convenient that we just happen to get a treasure map relating to the thing we're looking for? Pole arm. Okay, that is just a cloth. I thought it was, but it also had the exact shape of a manual, so I wanted to double check that. Yeah, none of these are necessary for us. Oh wait, Sunset Island is a completely different location. Oh, conveniently right next to us. Well, we may as well check that out then. We'll go ahead and do this sidetrack. So far, this island is home to crabs, and more crabs. Oh, hey, there's a box over there. Is that the treasure? That'd be very funny if this was just the hidden treasure of this island immediately, just chilling here on the edge. I mean, we've got fancy boots, or the blueprint for them anyway. This is not, in fact, the treasure, though. Go ahead and eat that blueprint. Just jam that paper right in my mouth and consume the knowledge. Nom, 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 nom. Did anybody think to bring shovels? Oh, hey, somebody lives here. Well, you're probably gonna be my a clue towards what we're doing here then, huh? Or... Oh, there we go. There's nobody home. Oh. Oh! Duplicate of... Interesting. Well, what's the manuscript say? I wonder who their missing friend is. Could it be the master, or that we're looking for the legacy of? No, they're looking for their disciple. Okay, so if we ever find their people, we can pass these on. Good to know. So it did mention unique costumes for starting choices, so I think those might actually be those costumes. I'm not certain about that, but that appears to be the treasure of this island, so I guess we're off again. Pirates. Wait, there's just a box floating out here too, though. Ib. Box with a fish in it. Okay. Pirates. Beat up the pirates. Oh, right, it's still in real-time mode. I will just slap these pirates to death with my fan. Ooh, that's a pretty nifty sword. Oh, it's a saber, not a sword, but close enough. Let's go ahead and put it back on turn-based mode so that doesn't surprise me again later. Or in a more important fight. There's gonna remain no real reason to look at any of these, though. As you can see, these are getting closer in power. So they would be reasonable to use. Oh, this must be Turtle Island, considering the big turtle-shaped rock on it. It's Turtle Island, my dude. Why wouldn't there be sea turtles on the beach? Oh, you know what? That's fair. If you've never seen a turtle before, then that makes more sense. Okay, yeah, their ceremony happens to coincide with their breeding cycle, so that's why. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. They appear to be attacking the turtles. So what I'm hearing is we need to kill the people poaching the turtles. Ta-da! Yeah, of course. Of course. Turn-based. Okay. We once again can't use the big move here. Nope, it won't reach. I can't get 3 of them. I can only get 2 of them no matter how I angle this. Unless I just go right in the middle here. That's the only way I can get 3. I don't really want to be direct toe-to-toe with the leader here, but you know what? It'll be fine. Because he barely hurt me. And now we can hit another set of 3 by doing this. And that gets rid of one of them off the board immediately. You're not going to be able to reach yet because your agility's not as high as mine. So there's really not going to be much left for her to do by the time she catches up. I suppose I'll leave the leader for her to attack. If I don't just get enough turns to kill everything. I might have raised my agility too much. This is rather silly. Well, good news, you've seen proof now. Which is gonna be a problem if we let this lot go. Is then they'll know that Immortal Village actually exists, and they could just go attack the village in revenge. That seems like a lie. Because he knew a lot about how all of this worked as far as the turtles themselves were concerned, to be new to this job. Yeah, huh? I'm going to assume they're not going to actually be dead, but maybe they are. That's what I figured. They knocked him out, leaving him to believe that we were going to kill him, to shake him up, and then when we come back, if he's still there, we can get the information we want. One wonders, though, if the others got killed, or if they were just knocked out as well. Who knows? So let's see, we got circle in the middle with 3 rings, center and 2 rings have black and white dots scattered around. The azure dragon, vermilion bird, white tiger, and black tortoise. Okay. I'm keeping track of that information in case this is actually a puzzle I need to do. So we rotate them so that they line up a certain way. So 55 dots. Okay, yeah, no, this looks like it's gonna be auto-solved. So theoretically, the intent is to then make it match the pattern correctly. But she's already solved this, so she's nudging him in the right direction. I see a pattern of dots on here, so presumably this connects to the other one. But wait, if she solved this before, how are they misaligned again? Did they automatically realign themselves over time? Or did she purposely set these back out of alignment to reset it? Okay, so we do actually still have to solve them. Okay, so I just need to make each line make 10. Wait, no, Hetu makes 10, Loshu makes 9. And this one was named to be the second one. So the sum of each number, vertical, horizontal, and diagonal, must make 15. Okay. Yeah, so all of these must make 15. Now, I get it. Yes, game, I understand how to move things. Yes. Yes. Okay, so we have a 5 here. So 8, and that's a 9. So that's currently 17. We don't want that. It would be ideal to have a 6 up here to make... Actually, no, because that would make 14. I need 7 there. So moving that makes this line a line, but does this help me anywhere else becomes a question mark. No, because this is already incorrect now because of that. So, at the very least, this alignment doesn't work. I was hoping using one of the areas we started from, I could then arrange it in such a way that it would work, but this is also 18, which is not correct. It looks like we just have 1, 2, 3 in the middle. There's not, like, any weird hidden numbers or anything, so this is all we have to work with. So ideally, the 1 and the 9 probably need to align with each other somewhere. Just because of the simple fact that that's the highest and lowest numbers we have, so it makes it easier to align those. But this is now going to be a no, this is also correct. The 2 diagonals are now correct, but the horizontals are not correct. So that doesn't work either. But that may be on the right line of thought. Because this is 15, this is 15, this is 7, 8, 12, and this is obviously useless. Actually, yeah, no, I have to rearrange this more significantly, actually, because this can never work on this horizontal line here. Because of the simple fact that it's only got a maximum value on this row of 6 right now. So that's physically impossible. So I probably need to move that down here. But the value up here is still too high. So I need to move some more stuff around. Something like that might be a good middle row. So I figure if I make the middle row function, then I can start to take that from there and go elsewhere. But right now, the top and bottom rows are now too high as well. So I don't think it's that simple. Because right now the top row is 16. No, it's not 16. Is 6 and 7 is 13. No, it is 16. This representation of 7 here is fucking with me. And now down here we have 12. So down here is an issue. I assume, though, if I get the horizontal of all 3 rows to make 15, then the rest of it should fall into place from there, and it just becomes a matter of rotating it to make it work afterwards. So let's see. If I do that, that's now 7, 11, way too high. I only have 1 4. The 5 down there, that just makes this worse. Well, no, it doesn't make it that much worse, but it doesn't make it better either. If I send the 6 down to here, that's now 15. This one is 12. This is also why I was assuming that this would be a good stopping point for this, is I assumed there was going to be a puzzle somewhere. And it wouldn't do to show all the puzzle solutions, because then what would be the point to somebody playing it? But I am going to solve this, because this is going to bug me if I don't solve it. So we got 8, 11, 18. Not good. I'm trying to arrange these in ways that the numbers are going to be simple, but I think that's the point, is that none of these are meant to be simple. So let's reset that. Like, all of these probably have to be in alignments that make the whatever values possible, not just ways that look reasonable. Because, like, right now, this starts out correct on this vertical line. This starts out at 15. And as does this. Like, both of these start out at 15. But we have a problem in the middle and a problem at the top. So I assume the idea is that there's probably not that many moves you have to make to fix this. Because that would be the most logical thing for a puzzle in a game to give you, is that it only takes a couple moves to solve it. Because most games don't expect you to sit here and do a, like, 20-move thing to figure out this complicated situation. So it's probably something involving moving this one into the middle row and then moving that back. Potentially. Is now this is 13. That's closer to correct. But this is now... It's 8. Because these two together are already 15, which makes everything around it an issue. So these two can't stay on the same row. Let's move that out of there. And I assume this will let me know when I complete it. That may be an erroneous assumption as well. Now we only have 10 here, so I need to do something about that. Again, one problem at a time. So because of the ways you can move this, if I solve one spot, I then start losing ability to move things, which causes a whole different array of issues. Because right now we got 10 here, 10 here, 16 here. Like, everything is wrong. Every single line is bad right now. And if I do that, the problem gets worse rather than better. But if I do this, it gets better except for over here. Not that it's solved anywhere, but it's improved. Because right now that's 8, 11, 15, 8, 13. So if I flip that, this is now fucked up here, but we now have 8, 15, 14. How bad off is this one? This is 8, 11, 16. So we're almost there, I think. That's not bad. But I do think that 4 needs to be in the middle position. So let's do something like this. That way we can keep that 4 in the middle position. Problem is that misaligned other things, which doesn't help. And we also only have 8 up here now, so that doesn't work. Ignoring the fact that this whole right-hand side's an issue. Because we got 13 here. We've got 8, 12 here. Ugh. Like, I'm betting there's a much simpler pattern to solve this than what I'm doing. This is not a type of puzzle that I usually have ever seen or done. Like, I've genuinely, I don't think, ever encountered this specific puzzle before. I have encountered puzzles that require you to make certain values in rows and columns and such before, but I've never seen this exact one that needs 15 in all directions. Like, I think I've only ever encountered variations of this that require different sums. So this row's an issue. Like, there's an argument to be made where you could just, like, cycle this randomly and eventually you'd land on the correct solution. Which, actually, we're not too bad right now. Because this is 15 in the middle here. But this is too low, this is too high. This is too high. So if we just shuffle this around a bit. It's like taking one line that's correct, you might be able to shuffle the areas around it to make the others correct. The answer, though, is we don't have the right alignment quite to make that correct right now. I really do think that the starting goal should be making the horizontal lines all 15s. And then, because once you have those aligned that way, all it takes is rotating each dial, theoretically, to then make the values you need from there. So since I have 15 here, what do I need to change this one to be correct? I just need one more, so I need to put this 2 up here, theoretically. So let's move that 2. Now, if I do that way, I then muck the whole thing up. That's the tricky part, is getting these things where you want them. Because I want to keep that 5 in the middle, but I'm going to have to do extra steps to make this happen. And I have no idea if there's any significance between the 2 colors on these dots. I would assume not. Okay, so I want to keep the 2 up there, but I want the 5 to be back here. So if I just move this like so. Now we have 2 lines of 15. Is this a line of 15? That's 8, 6, 15. Yes, all 3 of these are 15 now. So all I should theoretically have to do is rotate these dials to fix it the rest of the way. So let's see. What are our values currently? Absolutely not. Let's see. That's 8, 3, so that's 11, 15. This is the issue. This line right here is the problem. If I just, like, start moving it around, we in theory should end up with a correct answer somewhere. So let's see, we got 9, 12, 13, that's still bad. That's too high now. Like, there has to be a specific alignment where this all works, because obviously it wouldn't be a puzzle if there wasn't a right answer. Just a matter of determining where the right answer is. And it may very well be that because of the specific alignments I have in these 3 rows, it may still not be possible to make a correct alignment from here. But this is a correct alignment here, isn't it? That's 9, 14, 15. And then that's 8 and 7, which is 15. And then this is 4 and 8. No, these are all 15s. It's just the diagonals that are wrong then. Oh, we're so close! Because this is only 8, 12. This is too high. This one over here is a problem. Like, we keep getting so close and not actually quite reaching. Which is kind of infuriating. As I keep saying, I have to imagine that there's a sublimely simple answer here somewhere. And I'm just not landing on it. Actually, no. This is wrong. No, this is right. Because that is 8, 11, 15, 9, 15, 9, 14, 15. I have to imagine that something... Like, in theory, you have to have the highest number and some of the lowest numbers be together. That has to be part of the idea here. It's just figuring out what arrangement thereof that works. And I know I'm speaking in incomplete thoughts, and it's probably not entirely making sense, but I'm trying to formulate said thoughts right now as we're going. The good news is most of our horizontal and vertical rows will now consistently make correct answers because of the fact that we have them arranged so that they'll work. We just have to get those diagonals in order. But because of what I have across from the 9, I think we might not be able to solve this still. Because the 9 is where the issues are coming from. The 9 is just really hard to work around. Because you need a total of 6 in every direction away from the 9 in order to make 15. But there's so few ways to make 6 on this board that it makes it really tricky to make 15 going in 3 different directions from where that 9 is. And no matter where you put that 9, you have to have it go in... No, you don't have to have it go in 3 directions from every angle. If it's in the middle here, it only has to be on its own row, and then it only has to worry about a vertical line. Hey there, Celts. I'm in the middle of a puzzle, so I know a lot of what I'm babbling about may not make any sense. There we go. That's all I needed to do. We got it. As soon as I figured out the issue with the linchpin number of 9, there we go. We got it. Can I look at that again so I can explain that? Oh, it's gone now. It's reset because of that. Reasonably well. The repo lobby's filled up, and there's enough people for headliners, but I would not mind having more. Like, I'm dangerously close to the position of having too many people for repo. Oh, by virtue of the way the system ends up working there. Actually, I do not want to do this other puzzle. I'm gonna leave this puzzle for people to figure out, I think. Well, no, this one's simpler, I think. But either way, I don't want to do everything that's involved in the DLC for people. That's fair. That makes it very difficult for me to count you in, because I prefer to know further ahead of time, because I have a lot of times where people end up backing out, so I prefer to have foreknowledge, but we could see what happens. Because it makes it very difficult to announce things and everything if you don't know who's gonna be there. That's fair. What we can do, though, is I can keep you in mind as a backup if you want, if that works for you. We will go ahead and I'll post the link for this game one more time and then hop over to the other one. There we go. So if you enjoyed anything about Wandering Sword, Secret of the Eastern Seas, there's the link there. Both the game... Well, let me double check before I say that. Because I know the game is on sale right now. Let me double check to see if the DLC is on sale during the Steam sale or not. Because the game itself is 20% off. I just need to double check if the DLC is or not. The DLC is not very expensive. No, the DLC is not currently on sale at all, but it is only a $7 DLC. No, the current days I'm talking about are the 3rd and the 4th. I needed to double check the calendar because I didn't remember what day what was either.